This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
We have made it to the finale of the NFL season. This Sunday, the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Two teams walk in, only one team leaves a champion. Now, usually at this time of my show, I start off with an opening monologue or a dialogue or a rant. I'm not going to do that. To all you loyal Jono Barnes Show viewers who are true to the Jono Barnes Show, who don't just tune in when it's the Saints season or tune in when big news happens, you guys tune in every single Tuesday night. I have a special surprise for you guys. I've been promising you guys this all season long. I say, give me time. I'm going to let him make his Jono Barnes season debut. So to everybody who's watching right now live, and to everybody who eventually watches on the playback, I appreciate you. But to everybody who's watching live right now, you guys are about to witness and experience the debut of the first ever This Shit More Than a Game certified human being that was born straight out the womb with it. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the one and only Jono Barnes Jr. Hey, buddy. You got a lot to say, right? So what you got to say? I get camera shy now. Come on, you were saying a lot before the show. You said you wanted to be on and make your prediction for the Seahawks versus the Patriots. Tell them what you got to say. Now, yeah, it's the microphone. Say what you got to say. Way to make a great debut, huh? What's that? The Falcons suck. Yeah, we know that already. What else you got to say? Yeah, no, but what else you got to say? Tyler Shough is going to be the MVP next year. Wow, that's a big leap, but we'll take it. And what else? Oh, the Saints are going to win the NFC South next year. I agree with you, buddy. I like that. That is why you are the first ever This Shit More Than a Game certified baby. Hell yeah. Yeah, there we go. Well, tell everybody goodbye. Say thank you guys for tuning into my dad's show all season long and watching the growth of me, the heir to the throne of the This Shit More Than a Game kingdom. Tell them, we're going to have a hell of a show tonight, buddy. And let them know why. Buddy, why are we going to have a hell of a show tonight? You know why, buddy. Tell them. Because this shit more than a game.
From the stands, I'm invested. Every loss served like a lesson, we tested. Front porch talk turn to Sunday confessions. From dome to the block, it's all one connection. From Eric to Drew, Alvin to Cam, talk down on my squad. Boy, I be damned. I rap for the ones that never got fame, still yelling loud. This shit more than a game. Cause y'all know why? This shit more than a game. It ain't no lie. This shit more than a game. You know that's right. This shit more than a game. And y'all know why? This shit more than a game. Now I got Lil Jono sitting on my knee, teaching them young what it mean to believe. This bigger than scores, it's what we became. He gon' know off top, this shit more than a game. Clarissa in the back giving me all types of stress, but deep down she know the husband the best. She knows he's crazy, she know he's mean, but she know the kid 100% New Orleans. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. It ain't no lie, this shit more than a game. You know that's right, this shit more than a game. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. Yeah. When you see Jono scream, this shit more than a game. And when you see a Falcons fan, just call out for Jonathan. And yeah, this shit more than a game. New Orleans know this shit more than a game. Louisiana know this shit more than a game. Texas know this shit more than a game. Whole world know this shit more than a game. Y'all know why?
This shit more than a game.
That was for all of you loyal, the people who are on the clock every 7:15 p.m. Central Time every Tuesday night. You guys got the exclusive of Lil Jono. He said he ain't gonna do it just for everybody. He said he ain't gonna do it for those people who only come in at 8:00 p.m. or come in when the show is almost over. Come in every now and then. He said, I want to only make an appearance for the loyal people on the show. And he must have knew that his Gigi was watching because, of course, that this shit more than a mom made a great comment. But y'all know how we got to start off every edition of the Jono Bones Show. Leave a this shit more than the game in the chat right now, please, so we can start the show off even better. Now that Lil Jono has blessed us with his vibes, we can start the show off really great now. It's already starting off great. Let's make it really great and leave a this shit more than the game in the chat tonight because we have a lot to talk about tonight. And folks, I mean, let's be honest. The season comes to an end Sunday, so after maybe next week, this might be our last Jono Bones Show for a while. I might take a few weeks off to recuperate, re-energize, all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys tune in and lock in tonight because there ain't many Jono Bones shows in the month of February on deck. And we will pick up when the draft talk really starts to heat up with the Saints having a top 10 draft pick and maybe we draft somebody who can make Tyler Shough's life a lot easier. So you know what makes life a lot easier is when you guys leave super chats like the great Nola Chop Podcast, who leaves a $5 super chat. I'm sorry, Nola Podcast. I'm trying to get the air horns, but my computer's acting up. So just make the bam, 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 bam. He says this Super Bowl is probably going to be close, but he has the Seattle Seahawks winning 34-28, and he thinks Rashid Shaheed is going to be the Super Bowl MVP. That would be great for Rashid Shaheed. We are going to see. And that is our main topic tonight. Know the Chop Podcast is coming with the heat early on. He says, I'm already making my pick. That's what we're going to talk about as our main topic. But fret not, Saints fans. I know we haven't been talking about much Saints talk the past few weeks because it's been pretty quiet in Who Dat Nation. But we will have some Saints discussions to talk about later on in the show. But we got to start off, which is what the Know the Chop Podcast talked about, and that is the Super Bowl this upcoming Sunday. And who is going to win between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks? It should be a very good game. I'm actually looking forward to it. I have a few thoughts about it. One of the things I'm seeing on social media and whatnot is, it's not a exciting game or, it's not a game that's filled with storylines and whatnot. And I hate when we get discussions or narratives such as that because I always say, well, you know how you make stars, you know how you make storylines and whatnot. You let them make the Super Bowl. Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady when he first went to the Super Bowl in 2001. He made it. Then he became Tom Brady. Well, maybe this is what's going to make Drake May become Drake May. Maybe this is what's going to make Sam Darnold go from, a nice little Cinderella story to being a household name. Maybe Rashid Shaheed outside of New Orleans and Seattle becomes a household name. I'm looking forward to it. I don't always need a Super Bowl with like the popular teams or the teams with all the superstars on it. No, give me a team sometimes that comes out of nowhere like the Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks did the past year. And hey, maybe one of these teams is going to start their ascension into being one of the more dominant teams, I guess, in the NFL. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't need it to be always a Patrick Mahomes or, a team that had a lot of fanfare going into the season. I actually am very excited that it is two teams that nobody really expected this season. Another storyline is going to be the battle of the quarterbacks and Sam Darnold versus Drake May. Now, we know the quarterbacks do not go against each other. And no, this is not one of the all-time NFL quarterback Super Bowl duos. This is not Drew Brees versus Peyton Manning, right? This is not Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. No, this is two quarterbacks one who was discarded, including by me, who's had a head of a career revival, and one who in his second year, even though he doesn't have the gaudy numbers that, maybe someone like Jaden Daniels had his rookie season or Caleb Williams had this season, has his team in the Super Bowl. One of these guys' legacy will forever be intact with a victory this Sunday. That, to me, is exciting. Sam Darnold, of course, will be pretty cool to see, given that people and idiots like me were just absolutely trashing him and saying that this guy is an absolute bust. Well, sometimes it shows that if you just go to the right organization, that makes up for maybe your perceived lack of star ability. But I think one of the major things from this game is going to be the defenses, because the Seattle Seahawks defense is ranked number 1 in the NFL, And the Patriots defense is kind of like that unheralded hero throughout the whole postseason, because like I said last week, every time the Patriots had a game, it was always the storyline of the opposing team. Like, oh, Justin Herbert, he's not a star player. Oh, CJ Stroud, he's regressed so mightily since his rookie season. Oh, of course, the Broncos, how can they do it with Jarrett Stidham? And everybody just kind of kept ignoring that. Hey, maybe this New England Patriots defense are dogs. Maybe this New England Patriots defense has a argument, even though the stats may not have them as number one. Maybe they are the true number one defense in the NFL. Maybe they are going to make Sam Darnold's life a living hell and make people say, see, I told y'all about Sam Darnold. If there's one defense that I would give the nod to say, oh, they're going to definitely come in with a chip on their shoulder and make the quarterback's life a living hell, it would be the New England Patriots. On the other side, Drake May, a lot of fans still don't believe that he is in that upper tier of quarterbacks. They believe that he is getting basically a free ride to the Super Bowl thanks to his defense. Granted that he did not have the strongest postseason performances this past playoff season. Now, that's true and it's not true. I mean, you got to give quarterbacks credit sometimes. Sometimes as a quarterback, you just got to take what the team gives you. You got to take what your defense gives you. CJ Stroud could have learned from that. You tried to be Superman, and we saw how that ended up for the Texans. Drake May was like, I don't have to be Superman. I know that my defense is legit. I just got to do the basic things and functionalities of a quarterback and ride my team to a Super Bowl success. That, to me, is the makings of a great quarterback, to be honest. I remember early on, because I'm old as hell, when Tom Brady was going to his first few Super Bowls, and he was not seen as this greatest of all time quarterback. No, the narrative from a lot of people was like, Brady's just being carried by his defense, and he's good, but he's not great. You know, he has Bill Belichick in the defense to thank for always going to the Super Bowls, and Adam Vinatieri for saving his ass. But now we saw what history shows, right? Tom Brady is regarded as the greatest quarterback of all time. I am not saying that Drake May is on that trajectory. It is very unfair because any New England Patriots quarterback is always going to have that Tom Brady cloud over them the same way Tyler Shough and future quarterbacks are going to have that Drew Brees cloud over them, right? You just can't help it but compare them to that franchise's legendary quarterback. But do not write off or discard Drake May just yet is all I'm saying. Do not, because he didn't have the flossy numbers in the postseason, believe that he is just some run-of-the-mill quarterback. No, he did what he needed to do. Sometimes that is the true making of a great quarterback. So the question becomes, who is going to win Super Bowl? Oops, that's the wrong banner. But yes, we are on the couch watching Super Bowl 60 this upcoming Sunday. I am going to go with, and it seems like this is obviously the most popular pick, going by what I see in the chat, going by what I've seen from Sports Talk Radio and Sports Talk Television this week, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I am rooting transparently for the New England Patriots. And you might say, well, why are you rooting for the Patriots when Rashid Shaheed is on the other side and when we're just tired, John? We're tired of the New England Patriots making it and winning Super Bowl. But to me, that's two reasons. One, as far as them always making the Super Bowl and winning it, yes, you know, that's annoying. Yes, you would rather see different teams in the Super Bowl. You want those fresh matchups and whatnot. But at the same time, I am a fan of the New Orleans Saints. Hello, Drake May. Thanks for joining the John O'Barnes show tonight. I am a fan of the New Orleans Saints, and I am a fan of an NFC team. The New England Patriots and their dominance has no bearing on me whatsoever. And I sincerely doubt that the New England Patriots dominance this basically our lifetime, right, as grown adults, has had any bearing on you all as Saints fans. You know, I always tell people it can always be worse. You know, as you know, bad as the Saints have been, I guess, the past few years, and as many playoff heartbreaks as we've had. One, we have a Super Bowl title to our name. And two, the dynasties that we have been alive in our mature days to seek and to endure were two AFC teams, one being the Kansas City Chiefs and, of course, the New England Patriots. And that is much better than it being the Atlanta Falcons, right? That is much better than it being the Carolina Panthers or Tampa Bay Buccaneers, hell, the Dallas Cowboys. And I know the Cowboys kind of had their dynasty run when I was a baby, but it's so long ago now that it's become a running gag, you know. But either way, it is much better, in my opinion, for these dynasties in the NFL to be AFC teams and not NFC teams that I could care less if the Patriots, if it's not the Saints, I want the Saints to do it every year. But if it's not the Saints and the Patriots are on the start of another 3-4 year run where they're always in the Super Bowl, sucks, but I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm like, hey, is it the Falcons? No, fine by me. Fine by me. So that's one reason why I am not, afraid, I guess, don't mind rooting for the New England Patriots. And two, my friend, former ball boy of the New Orleans Pelicans, a colleague of mine who is a good friend of mine, Devin Charles Hubbard, Google his name, the New Orleans Times Picayune, and our great friend Rod Walker did a great article on him this past week where he is now, if you guys did not see it, the equipment manager for the New England Patriots. So what a come up he's had in his career, going from Hornets/Pelicans ball boy. Then he worked at Tulane as their equipment manager for a little bit, and now he is with the New England Patriots. And quite frankly, I just want to see my friend get a Super Bowl ring. So that is why I will be rooting for the New England Patriots this Sunday. No, look, I'm not like gonna be rooting for them hard, like watching them as intently as I watch New Orleans Saints games. Like if the Seahawks win, good for the Seahawks. I got nothing against the Seahawks. Hell, I appreciate their fans. When I went to the Seattle Stadium in 2019, when Teddy Bridgewater started his great run, when Drew Brees went down for a few weeks, the Seahawks fans were nothing but respectful and kind and awesome to me and my wife. So I got a nice little soft spot for the Seattle Seahawks fans, and I have no issue with them if they do win it. I'm not like rooting against them. It's ultimately just, going for AFC team. And because if the Saints can't win, I don't want any NFC team to win it. And for my friend to win a ring. So those are the reasons why I will be rooting for the Patriots. But if I was a betting man, as you guys can see the betting odds behind me, I would pick the Seattle Seahawks because they just seem like they are firing on all cylinders at the moment. But in true New England Patriots fashion, that's usually the time where they're the most scariest and most dangerous. They seem to be the best when they have that chip on their shoulder. And the Brady dynasty started when, if you guys remember, everybody thought the St. Louis Rams was going to dog walk the Patriots all over the Superdome in 2002, right? Remember, it was the post 9/11 Super Bowl. Tom Brady and the Patriots were the underdog, surprisingly. Who would have thought that, right? I'm old enough to remember when the Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were underdogs, and everybody thought the greatest show on turf, Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, was going to dog walk the Patriots all over the Superdome. And that's when Tom Brady started his legacy. So maybe history has a funny way of repeating itself, and the Patriots do the same thing this weekend. But I have to see it to believe it. I am going to go with the Seattle Seahawks for my pick to win this game. But also, guys, again, search my friend. His name is Devin Charles Hill, but I just search like Devin Patriots in your Google search bar. And our guy, our good friend of the program, Rod Walker, did a great feature story on his career as a ball boy to now the Patriots equipment manager. And I was lucky enough to be interviewed in that story. So check that story out. And I'm proud of my guy, Devin, for getting his flowers. And I hope that the Patriots win so that not only does he get a ring, but when I see him again, I can wear that ring. And I'll be like, oh, wow, this is how it feels to wear a Super Bowl ring. I haven't worn one since I did wear the same Super Bowl ring, by the way, one time, y'all. I should have had that queued up for a picture. When I was working as a Hornets ball boy, one of the security guards had a Super Bowl ring because the Saints were awesome to gift all of the staff, including like ushers, not ushers, but security and all that Super Bowl ring. So I got to wear the same Super Bowl ring one time. I would love to wear that Patriots ring that my friend Devin had better let me wear if the Patriots win it. So that's what I feel. Let's get to some of these comments about what you guys feel about Sunday. And if you have not yet, in the comments, leave your Super Bowl prediction. And by the way, the Know the Chop podcast, since you left a $5 super chat, anybody who leaves I'm trying to up the ante a little bit. So y'all see we got this awesome scoreboard that my wife got me this past Christmas. And I said, I can have a little more fun with this. So anybody who now leaves a $5 super chat or higher, I'm going to put your name on this scoreboard. So not only do you get the This Shit More Than a Thanks banner, but now you get to see your name on my cool, amazing LED scoreboard. So the Know the Chop podcast, stay tuned. You will see your name at some point on this scoreboard this week and next week. All right. I feel bad because Bruce will probably jump on this, but I don't think Bruce Sain's in the chat tonight, the king of the super chats. But the Know the Chop podcast, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that you on the show every Tuesday, right at 7:15 on the dot, saying that this is your favorite show. Because I'm a small show. Like this stream is a small show. I ain't gonna say I'm a small content creator anymore. I'm a pretty solid content creator as far as the different platforms that I have an audience on. But as far as my podcast / live stream is very, very down the totem pole as far as popularity or audience engagement when the Saints aren't playing, et cetera, et cetera. So I appreciate people like you, the Know the Chop podcast, who really, for whatever reason you do, have an affinity for the Jono Bone Show and just know you are this shit more than the game certified. All right, my guy Jay Sapp says, all the way from Arizona, my guy who is also not a Pelicans ball boy, but he is a former Pelicans. What is that? I'm losing. I lose track when I be talking out my mouth on last year. The swoop troop you was on, or what was it? Jay Sapp. He was one of those, people. If you ever been to a Pelicans game, they have the people who are like dancing in the stands and encouraging active fan engagement. He was awesome at that, and he has the Seahawks by 17, easy win. Now, even though I have the Seahawks, I haven't made my score prediction yet. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. I really don't. I have a lot more respect for that Patriots defense. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. I think for it to be a blowout, Drake May has to play really bad, like bad enough that the Patriots defense will eventually get just exhausted and just don't have enough, legs left to put up stops against that Seattle offense. I think it's going to be a close game, but if Drake May plays bad, it's the way that I feel like it will be that much of a blowout. Jay Sapp says, yes, he was a part of the vaunted, infamous swoop troop. That one Falcons fan says, Sam Darnold deserves a reign after Pats. That one Falcons fan, if you're still in the chat, what exactly does Sam Darnold deserve a ring for? That's always like one of them philosophical questions I always want to ask sports fans. Like, oh man, this person deserves a ring. No, this team deserves a ring. No, this fandom, we deserve a ring. I know a lot of Saints fans probably say, man, our Saints fans, we deserve a ring. We deserve. Well, what exactly makes us deserve a ring? That one Falcons fan, what exactly makes Sam Darnold deserve a ring? He is, by all accounts, a great person, but he's rich as hell. Even if his career wasn't as great as, people in this draft class like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Oh, well, I think that was the draft class he was in. Whatever, his contemporaries. He still has a great life. So what exactly makes Sam Darnold deserve a ring more than someone like a Drake May or Mike Vrabel? I'm genuinely curious. Like, I like to get philosophical when I hear and I see fans say a team or a fan base or a player deserves a ring. What exactly makes them deserve a ring? Hurricane Mikey says, the Seahawks by 30. So good Lord have mercy. I thought J Sapp was going crazy with the 17-point win. He has Hurricane Mikey. So y'all almost really think Drake May is going to play like shit, because like for a team to win by that many points, that means the opposing offense has to play like jack shit. And y'all must think that the Patriots defense is not that good, or the Patriots defense is going to be too damn tired from the offense always being 3 and out or whatever, getting turnovers, that the Seahawks are just going to run away with it. I have a little bit more respect, I guess, for the Patriots team and defense, but let me know why y'all think it's going to be that much of a blowout. Again, I understand. I know that this postseason, if there was one team that jumped off the screen every time they played, it was the Seattle Seahawks. Both of their games were not ass whoopings. Rams put up a good fight, but like every time that Seahawks was on the field, that speed was shown, that ferocity of that defense was shown. They jumped out more than the Patriots in their ugly losses. But I want to know in specific detail, why do you guys think the Seahawks are just going to wipe the floor with the New England Patriots? While we get to maybe some of those, Jerry has not a blowout, but also not a barn burner either. He has the Seahawks winning by 10. So, man, the Patriots are definitely the underdogs this weekend. Y'all must not believe in that defense, apparently. That's fair. Let's see if we get to some more comments. Again, y'all, we want to give a shout out to Drake May for joining the show tonight. GK81 says the Drake May Mays 31 versus the Pats 21. Well, now I'm confused. Okay, look, for anybody who doesn't know, that's kind of like a running meme with Patriots fans, is that they call Drake May Drake May. The way I call it, like Tyler Nathan Shough. One of the things the Patriots fans are doing is calling Drake May. But I'm a little confused by this comment, GK, because are you saying that May's going to put up 30? Did you mean to put 21 for the Seahawks? Because I don't know who exactly. Drake May plays for the Patriots. So who do you actually have winning this game? Now, maybe I read your comment wrong, Jerry G. Let me go back, because I saw you put, all right, no, I apologize. All right, no. All right, he has the Seahawks win. All right, I'm going fast, y'all. I see what happens when my co-host, well, every week, y'all, by the way, every week, I saw he commented earlier on the show. Every week, every Tuesday evening. I don't even be asking them to join anymore. But they be like, hey, Jono, my bad. I'm going to join you next week. I'm going to join you next week. And I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. No, for real, Jono. It's a Super Bowl preview show. Ziggy and Sean were the main two. We got to talk Super Bowl preview next week. Ain't nowhere to be found. Yeah, that's why I don't even, again, they're not co-hosts anymore, y'all. They're special guests. Every weekend, though. I mean, every Tuesday night. Oh, next week, Jono, I got you. Yeah, okay. Okay, make sure when y'all see Ziggy, when y'all ain't gonna see Sean because he ain't know where to be found. But when y'all see Ziggy, let him know that. Because every week, next week, Jono, then now I guarantee you they're gonna text me after this show. Oh, season finale next week. For sure, we'll be on a recap the show. We'll in the season, we'll definitely be on. Okay, they talk more shit out of their mouth than Falcons fans at this point. Let me get to the final comments before we get to our next topic. Trey Lee, who is watching on Facebook. Thank you, Trey Lee. We appreciate everybody who watches across all platforms. He says, the Seahawks versus the Patriots, man, I am torn. I don't know who to go for, but hey, go Rashid Shaheed. I think a lot of Saints fans are going to be majority Seahawks fans this weekend because everybody absolutely is going to be rooting for Rashid Shaheed. Mikey explains why he thinks the Patriots are going to get their ass whooped. He says Drake May is going to get jitters. He thinks the defense is going to get tired. He thinks Seattle will want it even more with it being in the 49ers stadium. Very good point because y'all remember before we got screwed in 2019, how badly we wanted for Drew Brees to get a second ring in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. My God. Maybe that's why the football guys screwed us. Maybe that's why the referee screwed us. They just knew. They knew that if New Orleans were to actually win the Super Bowl in the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, they knew we would have burned that motherfucker down. they knew that the Falcons fans there would be no Falcons franchise or franchise period. They knew the Saints fans were going to act the goddamn fool if we won a goddamn Super Bowl in the Falcons Stadium. But guess what, y'all? In 2028, the Super Bowl is going to be in Atlanta. And if, you believe in the trajectory of this franchise. Now, of course, hey, maybe we are awesome next year and we do a Drake May. Tyler Shough does a Drake May, and he makes the Super Bowl in the second year. But maybe, just maybe, 2028 is the year that the Saints put it all together finally. And maybe, just maybe, we go into 2028 thinking, hey, it's time to actually win that goddamn Super Bowl in Atlanta. I got my mind on that. It's a long way from now, but I was looking at the future Super Bowl cities last week when I was looking to see when the city of New Orleans gets another shot at the Super Bowl. And I said, oh, damn, the Atlanta got one in 2028, huh? I said, that kind of lines up with the timeline if the Saints actually do prove that they're worth the shit and Tyler Shough keeps up the momentum that, third year Tyler Shough making the Super Bowl in Atlanta. That'd be pretty sweet. Let me get to some more comments. And that one Falcons fan wants to explain his pick. He says, Sam Darnold's redemption story is one to remember. He came back from the ashes. All right, you're getting a little philosophical. Making it sound like this is Jesus Christ. That one Falcons fan, geez. He said the Pats deserve credit too. They had an incredible season, but Seattle's offense is overpowered, and this is why he believes that Sam Darnold deserves a Super Bowl ring. And of course, that one Falcons fan also says, y'all ain't coming to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Well, we'll see. We're worrying about 2026 first, and then we'll worry about the 2027 season, which will be the 2028 Super Bowl in Atlanta, not the 28th season, but the 2028 calendar year Super Bowl being in Atlanta would be from the 2027 season. But before we even worry about that, I'm just putting that birdie in y'all ear. Just remember where y'all heard it first. I'm just putting that birdie in y'all ear. We got to worry about the 2027 season, and we got to worry about the NFL Super Bowl. I'm just hoping, Mick Swagger says, that when Falcons fans say, yeah, Sam Darnold rose on the third day. It's probably like the fifth day, right? And this is 15. He rose on the fifth day. He rose on a Friday. He said, good Lord. Hopefully we get a good game Sunday. Hopefully it's a great halftime show. I know it's somehow become very politically divisive about Bad Bunny doing a Super Bowl halftime show. I don't see what the big deal about him doing a halftime show is, but that's not here nor there. I'm hoping that it's a game that is much better than the game that the city of New Orleans got treated to last season when the Eagles just whipped the Kansas City Chiefs' ass. And as amazing as a Super Bowl as it was in New Orleans last year with the festivities and the week full of activities, I've been kind of reliving those Super Bowl weekend memories through my, you get the notifications on your phone. Last year at this time, you were doing this. And I'm like, damn, yeah, that was last year that I was on Canal Street in Bourbon, having the time of my life and going to all these Super Bowl events and parties and all that. But then the game came and it was like, oh boy, that was a stinker. Well, hopefully we have a great game this Sunday. Looking forward to it. Rooting for the Patriots for my friend Devin, but I'm ultimately just rooting for a great, great game. I'm also rooting for everybody who supports the Joe Barnes Show because I want to give a thanks to everybody who left a super chat last week. So even though I was just talking shit about my guy Ziggy, he was the only one to leave a super chat last week. So shout out to Ziggy. And Ziggy, please know that this shit more than a thanks. And next week, the Know the Chop podcast, you will be on this vaunted, this shit more than a thanks banner. And you will also be on the vaunted, this shit more than a scoreboard. Now, to everybody watching, all 180 people watching across all platforms, please do me one solid favor.
Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Falcons fan sad. 3, 2, 1.
I also want to appreciate everybody watching tonight because I know right now the very, very important, very, very much anticipated Pro Bowl is going on right now. And we all obviously want to see what Shedeur Sanders, 2026 Pro Bowler, is doing in the Pro Bowl. So for you guys to be watching the Jono Barnes Show and not the amazing NFL Pro Bowl, that means a lot to me. Now, guys, I know this is not a Saints show, but it helps to be a Saints fan. So there are some topics that we do have for the New Orleans Saints to talk about because it hasn't been all that quiet in New Orleans Saints land. Actually, some big news came out this past Monday. The New Orleans Saints, you guys, will be playing a 2026 regular season game, a home game in Paris, France. That is right. If you were living under a rock the past 24, 48 hours and did not see the announcement, the New Orleans Saints are going to be playing in Paris. They are going to be the first ever regular season game in Paris, France, at the Stade de France. I think I'm saying it right. I got to get my French lingo up if we're going to be France's default home team. Now, the full matchup, including the opponent, the date, and the kickoff time, will be announced by the NFL at a future date. But the streets are saying, folks, the streets are saying that matchup is already determined. And I just mentioned Pro Bowl quarterback Shedeur Sanders is going to be the guy that we are playing because, according to French outlet RMC Sport, the Saints are going to be playing the Cleveland Browns in Paris. The date will be October 25th. Now, that's pretty exciting. You know, I mean, it makes sense for the New Orleans Saints, right? The Fleur-de-Lis, France. Like, it makes sense for us to be France's default home team. And I think it's not only cool as a fan, but as just from a business standpoint, we obviously know the NFL is making a concerned effort to become international. They want to have that major international audience that the NBA has. And so that's why they're trying to have international games. It used to start off with like only 2 or 3 international games a season. Now I believe we're up to 8 that's going to be happening in 2026, including the Saints in Paris. And the goal, as all the reporters are saying, is that the NFL wants to have eventually it get to the point where every team has 1 international game per season and every team has their established country. Ours is going to be Paris, France. Which I actually don't mind. I mean, I think that, hey, that's the way of the world. Like, you want your league to grow. You want the brand to grow. We see the NBA right now. If you're an NBA fan, some of the best players in the NBA are international players, right? So maybe some 20, 25 years from now, with the NFL making these efforts now, the best quarterback in the league is going to be from France or from London or wherever. So I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I also love that Paris was one of those, I guess, I don't want to say for sale countries, but no team had adopted Paris yet, and the New Orleans Saints did. And we are the only the only team so far that basically Paris is saying this is our home team. Like, London has, like, I believe 3 teams. You know, Jaguars was like the team that everybody assumed was going to eventually just move to London. That's the one international team of the NFL 32 teams. But I wish I had the map. There was a map that shows like all of the cities, all of the franchises that are kind of adopting a country as their international team. And some countries have like 3 or 4 teams combined. The country of Paris only has 1 team, that's the New Orleans Saints. And I like that because I don't want to share a country with any other team. I don't want, Buffalo to come down and say, oh, we want Paris too. No. Paris, you guys are officially a part of the Who Dat Nation. You guys are officially this shit more than a game certified. Paris, France, Saint-Martin, let's play Joinjou. I got to get my French up. Please forgive me if anybody from France watches the show. But just know, Paris, you guys are this shit more than the game certified. And one thing about New Orleans, we're a very hospitality-driven city. We welcome all brand new Saints fans. So welcome, Paris, France residents, to the Who Dat Nation. And welcome to what it will mean for you guys to learn how to be Saint-Morday et plus Quanjou certified, because you guys are damn well going to learn starting next season what it means to be a Saints fan and what it means to be this shit more than the game certified. I am very, very excited about this game. I actually would really love to go to the game too. You know, I gotta admit, y'all, like I'm excited that the Saints have some great things coming up this season for fans, but they got to think about my wife's credit card, man, because Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame. Like, I really want to go to Canton, Ohio. And I started looking up the prices this week, and I'm like, God damn, Ohio? Like, isn't like Ohio one of the states that gets clowned on? Like, nobody wants to go to Ohio. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. So why the hell are those airline tickets so damn expensive? I mean, I get that they probably know, okay, the month of August is a busy month for us because football fans like Jono want to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame to watch their player get inducted to the Hall of Fame. But good Lord, have mercy. Cleveland and Canton, Ohio, y'all expensive as hell. Not only that, so I'm gonna try to do Canton, Ohio, but I also want to do Paris. Like, I really want to make a conscious effort to go to Paris to watch the first ever NFL game and the first ever New Orleans Saints game. And I think it's gonna be the first of many New Orleans Saints games in Paris. I really want to do that. But good Lord, man, my wife only has so much money on her credit card. The Saints got to start thinking about people like me, man, and my wife's credit card. I don't know, but she's gonna have to start working some extra hours and shifts or something to make this work. But we're gonna make it work. I'm gonna make her pick up some tabs and some shifts on her work schedule so we can go to Paris. Should be a fun game. I saw some opposing fans clowning the matchup. Oh man, poor Paris. They're getting it. The New Orleans Saints versus the Cleveland Browns. Man, y'all must not know about Tyler Shough mania. Y'all must not know about Tyler Shough mania because Tyler Shough mania is taking over. It's taking over New Orleans and Louisiana already, but I guess we're going to have to wait till later this fall for it to take over the rest of the United States, including Paris, because Tyler Shough mania is coming. All right, and technically, Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl quarterback. So Tyler Shough versus Shedeur Sanders matchup actually might be a lot better than you guys are giving the credit for. All those people that's joking about, oh man, poor France and getting the Saints versus the Browns. Y'all going to see. Y'all going to see. Because you know who also seeing right now? ESPN, because ESPN is getting full-on Shough-mania. I'm going to tell you how ESPN is getting Shough-mania in a little bit. But before I do that, let me get to the comments and see how do you guys feel about the New Orleans Saints playing in France. Mick Swagger says, the only French words I know are their foods. LOL. Well, I think a lot of New Orleans people are going to get their French lingo picking up this upcoming year, Mick Swagger. Nola Chop says, I hope Drew Brees gets his gold jacket and the call to the Hall of Fame. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert, the Nola Chop podcast. Drew Brees is going to be a Hall of Famer after Thursday night. Mikey says, oui. Jerry says, les on, les bon ton. Again, it's a seamless collaboration and partnership for the country of France to adopt the New Orleans Saints as their NFL team. I'm excited about it. I am genuinely excited about it. I saw some Saints fans were complaining that we lose our 9th home game this season because y'all know it rotates. Where every year you either get 9 home games or 8 home games. This upcoming 2026 season would have been a team that got 9 home games. But I don't mind. Like, I really do not mind losing a 9th home game to the country of France. Hell, I think we have too many goddamn NFL games this season already. We have 17 right now. Obviously, we know that it's going to 18 soon. Y'all know how Eric McCoy feels about that when I had Eric McCoy on this shit more than the couch and how he said 18 games, really NFL. But that's obviously what the tea leaves are blowing that the NFL is going to adopt soon as an 18-game schedule. So, I mean, 9 games as a season ticket holder, and I don't even go to all the games anymore. I'm lucky to go to 1 or 2 at this point anymore. I don't need to go to 9 games. You know, you got to pay for parking. Sometimes you got to walk far to get to the stadium. Concessions out the ass. I'm just as fine sitting on my nice couch, watching my HD 4K TV and watching the Saints do what they got to do. So, yeah, give a home game to this country of Paris. Let's grow our franchise, man. Let's grow our fandom. Let's have it so that maybe come October 2026, we might have some people from France watching the Jono Bourne show. And that'll be awesome. That will show the growth of the NFL. That will show the growth of the New Orleans Saints franchise. I'm looking forward to it. The Northern Chop podcast also says the Saints in Paris, that's going to be big in history making. And Mick Swagger says the Browns versus the Saints is actually a good story. The Saints drafted Shough, but everybody thought it would be Shedeur. I don't know if we thought it would be Shedeur. I will say, y'all remember my infamous draft day rant. I was very mad that I said if we are going to take a quarterback, at the part that we took a quarterback, the top 40 pick, I said, well, take Shedeur. I thought Shedeur was the third best quarterback behind Jackson Dart and Cam Ward. We took Tyler Shough, and I was like, who the hell is Tyler Shough, right? It wasn't that I was a Shedeur Sanders stan. It wasn't that I'm like, oh, Shedeur Sanders is going to be a superstar quarterback. I was just like, me as a fan, going by what I've seen from college football, Shedeur Sanders is a much better quarterback than Tyler Shough. So far, I have been absolutely wrong, and I love it. I love it. I love it. But there's still a lot of football left to be played and a lot of chapters to be written in the Tyler Shough story and the Shedeur Sanders story. So, yes, Mick Swagger, it is going to be a good story because if it is ended up being Tyler Shough versus Shedeur Sanders in October, it'll be interesting to see where each quarterback is at that part of their career come October 25th. Hopefully, guys, I can make it happen, and I'll be in Paris, and I'll try to give you guys some great content in Paris for what could be a historic game for the country of France. Well, I gotta check my wife's credit card because I want to go to Canton, Ohio to see Drew Brees get his gold jacket as well. So it'll be interesting to see how much my wife's credit card can take. And speaking of Drew Brees' Hall of Fame chances, because I saw the Know the Child podcast says he hopes that Drew Brees will get it. We're going to talk about Drew Brees' Hall of Fame his eventual Hall of Fame induction in a little bit. But before we do that, hey, if you guys are going to Paris, or if you plan on going to Canton, Ohio, or hell, if you guys are going to Mardi Gras in 2 weeks and you need some good swag to make sure that you all let everybody know that this shit more than the game, here's where you can buy some amazing ones at.
No matter what, we all know that this shit more than a game, and now you can wear it with pride. Visit www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now for the low price of $28.03. We've got you covered here on the Jono Barnes Show. So visit www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now and let the world know, folks, this shit more than a game.
Y'all want to know who is This Shit More Than a Game certified? This might shock you guys. ESPN, because Shuckamania may not be running wild rapidly, but it's gradually running wild because ESPN put out an article today where they did a redraft of the 2025 NFL draft. Now, it's way too soon to be doing redrafts, right? I understand that. But, hey, this is the time of year where you got to keep the masses entertained as we wait for the Super Bowl this Sunday. So ESPN put out an article, and they redrafted the 2025 NFL draft. And do you guys want to know where ESPN had Tyler Shough going if the NFL draft were done today? They had Tyler Shough going number 2 overall to the Cleveland Browns. Their esteemed panel of NFL analysts got together and they said there was a redraft of the 2025 NFL draft. Tyler Shough would have gone from pick number 40 to pick number 2. That, folks, was a lot of hype. The Tyler Shough hype is getting to be at an inordinate amount of levels of hype. It is absolutely insane. ESPN has Tyler Shough going number 2 in the draft. Actually, if you guys want to see the full list, they had Cam Ward still at number 1, but you see they had the draft redo. They had Tyler Shough going at number 2. You might wonder who they'll have the Saints picking. They had the Saints continuing to pick Calvin Banks at number 9 and a little bit more. You might wonder, well, then if the Saints could not get Tyler Shough at number 40 because he went to number 2 in the NFL draft, who would we have taken with pick number 40? Well, with pick number 40, they would have had the Saints taking Cam Scatterbull if the NFL 2025 draft was redone today. So I ask you guys, I know we're all biased. Do you guys think that if the NFL could do the redraft of a 2025 NFL draft, that Tyler Shough would go number 2? What do you guys think about that? Because if you look at the comments on Twitter, if you weren't a Saints fan, a lot of people were very, very upset And it's getting to the point, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it that opposing fans are getting very annoyed with the Tyler Shough hype. There's a few reasons for that. One, look, I'm not dumb. We were a 6-win team. So I'm not expecting anybody to be locked in and watching the New Orleans Saints in 2025 as intently as we were watching, right? So all people are seeing are the stat lines, and they're not seeing Tyler Shough's actual performances. So they're probably like, what the hell did Tyler Shough do to start getting all this hype? Especially the Giants fans. Giants fans are very, very angry that Tyler Shough has surpassed their wonder boy, hyped up quarterback Jackson Dart when it comes to media adoration and media hype. But they're not watching the games like we are. And we know. And I'm not even saying that as a biased Saints fan. I've had enough outside parties tell me how good Tyler Shough can possibly be for me to say, you know what, it's not just me being biased. We actually might have something at quarterback. Because when Teron Armstead is sharing that the Panthers Pro Bowl guard is saying that, oh man, I just left Josh Allen's division. Now I got to play in Tyler Shough's division. And when you see all these other analysts praising Tyler Shough, when you see ESPN, it ain't like ESPN loves them some New Orleans Saints, okay? It ain't like ESPN is a known Saints, hype booster. So even when ESPN is saying that Tyler Shough would be the number 2 overall pick if the draft was redone in 2025, and you got to start opening your eyes. You got to start opening your eyes to all the opposing fans, to all these NFC South opposing fans who think that, Tyler Shough just apparently got lucky when he beat the Bucs and when he beat and swept the Panthers and when he put up a pretty good fight against the Atlanta Falcons, and they don't think that Tyler Shough is actually the real deal. I mean, hey, we're trying to tell y'all. That's all I guess I can say. I know Ziggy ain't on the show right now, but we're trying to tell y'all. So what y'all do, just know that Tyler Shough mania is absolutely running wild, not only in New Orleans, but apparently via the NFL. So let's get to some of these comments and see what people are saying. And I know I have a Saints-heavy audience, but I still want to know because I feel like we have a very, very unbiased audience when it comes to discussions like this. And Hurricane Mikey says he absolutely agrees that Tyler Shough is the best rookie. So he thinks that, I guess, Mikey, do you think that Tyler Shough would have gone over Cam Ward? Because I still think Cam Ward deserves it, right? I still think that Cam Ward, would be the number 1 overall pick. Cam Ward was pretty good this season. But I do think that Tyler Shough is worthy of that hype. Absolutely. Let's see what else we got. The Know the Chop podcast says Shough clearly was the best quarterback from this draft class. Nobody wasn't talking about him except for Louis Riddick. And shout out to Louis Riddick. Absolutely. Shout out to Louis Riddick because he was one of those people who was hyping up Tyler Shough. And it shows that, don't ever listen to idiots like me, John Barnes. Listen to people like Louis Riddick because he's been actually running the victory lap on social media right now about how he tried telling us. He's doing the Ziggy. He say, hey, I tried telling y'all about Tyler Shough. So, yeah, I guess it should be obvious, Don't listen to people like John Barnes. Listen to people like Tyler Shough. Carl says, we are in the hunt. Not yet, Carl. Not yet. After midnight on Monday morning, when the season is officially over, congratulations to whoever the Super Bowl champion will be. But at that point, we will all be 0-0 again, and then we can officially say that we are in the hunt. But I think it's awesome. I think it's absolutely awesome. But I also think from a petty standpoint that I love that this is really pissing off a lot of fans. As I see, there's one fan in my comments right now who I just had to ban from my channel who was very mad apparently at the fact that Tyler Shough is the number 2 overall pick if the NFL wants to do a redo according to NFL analysts. But I love that we are getting to the point again where opposing fans hate on the New Orleans Saints. They are very, very mad that Tyler Shough is getting all this hype. But what it's going to do, though, we got to be ready for this, y'all, is this is putting a target on Tyler Shough's back. This is absolutely because a lot of fans now, a lot of opposing, hell, even some Saints fans who are just Spencer Rattler cult members or whatnot, are waiting for Tyler Shough to fail. They're absolutely waiting for Tyler Shough to fail. So I'm very much of like sane mind that I do know that, I'm not going to just assume that Tyler Shough is going to keep the momentum, that he's going to be this great NFL quarterback or not. He has to put in the work. Hopefully he will. I'm going to be drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm going to be drinking out of my special This Shit More Than the Game mug. I'm gonna be drinking the Kool-Aid all offseason. I'm gonna be hyping up Tyler Shough. I'm gonna be hyping up the New Orleans Saints because I've been very down on the Saints the past 2 offseasons. So I'm actually looking forward to a season where I can be that rah-rah cheerleader that you guys probably enjoy more than when I'm Debbie Downer. But he has to absolutely put in the work this offseason and into 2026 because there are a lot of fans now who are absolutely waiting and praying for Tyler Shough's downfall. Mick says, I like us being forgotten about. Let them sleep. We're kind of forgotten about, but we're kind of not. Like, we're still discarded, Mick swagger when it comes to, just, are we a sexy matchup for Paris and whatnot? But we are not discarded when it comes to the fact that, for whatever reason, a lot of these analysts really like what they saw from Tyler Shough this past season that we saw, but that these opposing fans either didn't see or they simply did not want to believe. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But ESPN did their redraft, and as you guys can see, Tyler Nathan Shough was number 2. And also a cool thing was that they got Tyler Shough at number 2. They got Calvin Banks still at number 9. So they're saying that the Saints essentially drafted 2 top 10 talents in the 2025 draft. As well, if you guys see the second round, Quincy Riley was picked number 62 to Buffalo. So ultimately, they were saying that the Saints had 3 players that were top 65 worthy. That is the start of a head of a run, hopefully, for the New Orleans Saints and a head of a draft. A lot of football left to be played in all of these guys' careers. I was a little bit surprised, but not too surprised, but just a little bit surprised that Jonas Senka was not picked in any of these picks. I know that he wasn't the greatest rookie safety, but I thought that he was. I thought that actually he would probably impress the analysts more than what Quincy Riley did. But ultimately, if Tyler Shough does end up being the number 2 best quarterback in a 2025 NFL draft, or hell, y'all know us as biased Saints fans, we're hoping that he is the best quarterback in the NFL draft. We are hopefully into the start of something very, very fun, and I absolutely cannot wait. ESPN, welcome to the bandwagon.
Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout, and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man.
Now, enough rambling from me. I want to hear from you guys. And even though, oh, by the way, look, y'all, again, look at that, the Know the Chop podcast. Again, I told you. I tried telling you. You guys leave a $5 or higher super chat. Your name can make the vaunted this shit more than the scoreboard. So remember that going forward. If we get any super chats $5 or higher, can't believe Bruce ain't on the show tonight. You guys can make the vaunted. Not everybody can just make the scoreboard. You guys can make it. Know the Chop podcast. Hopefully you were still watching and you saw that. But let's get to our voicemails after nothing. There was no NFL games this weekend, but I guess people still had some things that they wanted to say. So let's get to our voicemails before 60th Super Bowl.
Yo, this message goes out to the Buffalo Bills. Bills, what are y'all doing? For those that might be like, what am I talking about? They hired Pete Carmichael to be their offensive coordinator. Buffalo, if y'all couldn't win games, well, y'all could win games, but if y'all could not win a Super Bowl with Joe Brady calling the shots as your offensive coordinator, how do you expect not only to win games as him calling plays as the head coach, but now Pete Carmichael? The dude that just sits around eating Hot Pockets all day, watching the offense go to work? That'd be Carmichael. But when you actually put a playbook in his face, he acts like it's a foreign language? That'd be Carmichael. Pete Carmichael, who Saints fans thought was going to solve all of our problems. When Sean Payton stepped back, we were like, hey, at least we got Pete Carmichael. And he couldn't call a damn thing. The only thing that he could call was 911 because, boy, he needed an ambulance for his brain. That'd be Carmichael. Pete Carmichael, that's the guy. You could have hired anyone to be offensive coordinator, and your choice was Pete Carmichael. Huh? There's plenty of offensive coordinator-worthy candidates out there, and you chose Pete Carmichael. Pete goddamn Carmichael. Okay, if the Bills don't make the playoffs this season, I won't be anywhere surprised because Pete Carmichael.
Super Bowl 60, Patriots versus Seattle. Could the Patriots win this game? Yes. But theoretically, the sky could fall down. Theoretically, Mars could come inside of Earth and Mars can become a...
Oops, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Yo, this message goes out to the
Patriots don't deserve to... But theoretically, the
Here we go.
sky could fall down. Theoretically, Mars could...
for his brain. That's Pete Carmichael. That's the guy. You could have hired anyone to be offensive coordinator, and your choice was Pete Carmichael. Huh? There's plenty of offensive coordinator worthy candidates out there, and you chose Pete Carmichael. Pete goddamn Carmichael. Okay. If the Bills don't make the playoffs this season, I won't be anywhere surprised because Pete Carmichael.
Super Bowl 60, Patriots versus Seattle. Could the Patriots win this game? Yes. But theoretically, the sky could fall down. Theoretically, Mars could come inside of Earth and Mars can become the same planet. But all those things are highly unlikely, which is the same thing with the Patriots winning. Yeah, the Patriots beating the Seahawks in the Super Bowl is more likely, but it's still very unlikely. This game's going to make Georgia versus TCU look like an overtime thriller. Drake May, he's good at football, give him that, but I think Darnold is playing the best football in the league right now. I think Seattle, Quinn Kubiak, he's got something for that Patriots defense. Rashid Shaheed going to get himself a ring, and the Seahawks going to win this game 44-14. Sorry, Patriots, but not sorry, Patriots. Y'all deserve to suffer.
I apologize for those technical difficulties, guys. Mikey is dead set on the Seahawks whooping the Patriots' butt, but he also brings up a point that we have not talked about on the show tonight, and that is about the Bills hired Pete Carmichael as their offensive coordinator. Now, Mikey, I would say this about Pete Carmichael. I think that we all know that Joe Brady is going to be caught in plays in Buffalo. So Pete Carmichael is like that safe coordinator that is actually probably a smart move, Mike. Just think about it from this point of view, right? Like Pete Carmichael is never going to be a guy who is going to get head coaching interviews, right? Like he likes living in the shadows. We have to beg him to be our offensive coordinator, like to actually call the plays when Sean Payton left. We had to beg him to stay to call the plays and be the offensive coordinator. He likes living in the shadows of an offensive-minded head coach. So for Joe Brady, it's like, okay, usually I know how this goes. If I have a great team and the offense looks good, what happens? Every team that fires their head coach is always going to go after the hot offensive coordinator, right? So Joe Brady is like, well, if I hire Pete Carmichael and we have a great offense, ain't nobody going to try to hide no damn Pete Carmichael from me because Pete Carmichael is Pete Carmichael, right? So it actually might be a smart move for Joe Brady. And like, I can have possibly a great offense, and there's no reason why the Bills should not continue to have a great offense with Josh Allen and not have to worry about nobody trying to come and poach my offensive staff led by Pete Carmichael because it's Pete Carmichael. I actually think that was an actually good move by Joe Brady because he's going to call the plays. So Mikey said he don't give a damn. I don't know if he's talking to one of the comments or my rebuttal, but either way, that's just my rebuttal, Mikey. Jeez. What up, Slim? So we also got a text message. Yes, y'all, the text messages are still open as well. From that one Falcons fan, he says, for his Super Bowl prediction, he has to root against the Patriots for obvious reasons. I wonder why, that one Falcons fan. I mean, it's not like y'all blew a 25-point lead to them in the Super Bowl or something. Oh, yeah, y'all did. Anyways, he put Seattle are going to rewrite history, and they are going to redeem themselves this Sunday. You and a lot of fans, Mikey, that one Falcons fan, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the Noodle Shop podcast in the back of my thing, making sure I spelled it right, have a very like mind with that. So we will see. But boy, the Patriots needed some motivation. They could just watch the John and Bone show because nobody apparently believes in the New England Patriots. Let's get to our final voicemail, y'all. Yes, I mean, it ain't like we're going to get a lot of voicemails. Yeah, I mean, look, we only got how many people watching the show, and we have no NFL game to Sunday, so it ain't like the phone lines were burning up. But it's always everybody's favorite voicemail.
This is James. James. And I don't have a lot to say today, guys. I just wanted to make my Super Bowl pick that I'm telling you guys right now. Which Ziggy always says, I'll try telling you where James is trying to tell y'all. Take this pick to the bank. But before I do that, a few things I want to say to get off my chest. One, I'm not surprised Sean punk ass didn't show up last week. I mean, hell, he rarely shows up on a show anyway, but you knew he wasn't going to show up with his Rams, his precious Rams, while he eliminated, and now that he's on the couch with us. 2, I noticed those Falcons fans been mighty quiet lately. Not much chirping for them. Hell, I'd be the same way if my coach was Kevin Stefanski and my president of football operations was a quarterback who couldn't hold a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl. And finally, man, I watched the Pelicans game last night. Well, last afternoon because it was on at 2 p.m. Lord knows I went and watched them if it was on at nighttime, but at 2 p.m. it was prime time viewing to watch the Pelicans when nothing else was on TV. And man, do those guys suck. I'm kind of glad I'm not a diehard Pelicans fan because good Lord have mercy, does that team suck. Anyways, I know what you guys want. My anticipated, guaranteed Super Bowl prediction. Well, DJ, please. I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know where my soul is. Yeah, I don't know where my home is. And baby, all I need for you to know is I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know where my soul is. Yeah, I don't know where my home is. And all I need for you to know is Seattle minus 7.5. Yeah, take that to the bank, y'all. Rashid Shaheed is going to get a ring. Don't say that James, just James, didn't try telling y'all. Yeah. I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know where my soul is. I don't know where my home is. And baby, all I need for you to know is, hey, and I might be like a bird, but it damn sure ain't like a falcon, because those birds choke. And they could choke on this bird. Yeah.
Well, there you guys have it. James is picking the. Everybody's picking the Seattle Seahawks. Apparently, everybody's picking the Seattle Seahawks. I think I might have to bet for the Patriots, and it just seems like too many people are picking the. Y'all know how this goes, right? Like whenever everybody's universally making a pick for a team, there's always the opposite that happens. I might have to do that because it's just too much Seahawks love for my liking. But I appreciate Mikey and I appreciate James, just James, for leaving a voicemail even during the slow parts of the Jono Bond Show season. And next week, y'all, I'll see where that comment is from Jerry. Jerry says, Jono, I apologize for not leaving a voicemail. Maybe next time. All good, Jerry. I mean, what's there to talk about? There's not much to talk about. I totally get it. But I will say this. We're going to do the Super Bowl recap next week. Then we're going to take a bit of a break. And the voicemail hotline will shut down for the foreseeable future until maybe free agency starts or something again. So if you do want to leave a voicemail, is there anything you want to get off your chest? Could be about anything. Maybe you want to ask a question, etc., etc. Next week is your last week to leave a voicemail or a text for the foreseeable future. Probably up until March is when I might open up the phone lines again for free agency. So do it at 504-484-9170. Leave a voicemail or a text. Make it good because next week, after the Tuesday show next week, I am shutting down the phone lines. All right? Mikey, if you're listening, because I don't want you to be wasting your time like you did in the years past, still leaving voicemails every week. They are not going to be played after next Tuesday. It's going to be my last time doing the voicemails up until maybe March or maybe April. I don't know how long I'm going to shut it down for, but I'm not going to be doing voicemails for the foreseeable future after next week. So if you have a voicemail that you want to leave, next week is your last week to do it. All right? You can either do that, or you can also do this.
Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Rams fan sad. 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, and final topic of the night. We are going to get official confirmation Thursday, but I want to give you guys a spoiler. Cover your ears if you don't like spoilers. Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame. Sorry to ruin the movie for you guys, but Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame. The only thing we're just waiting for is for it to be made official. We all know, and I know people are getting a little worried because they see that Bill Belichick wasn't named to the Hall of Fame. We saw that today. Robert Kraft was announced that he isn't going to make the Hall of Fame. And I believe it was leaked that Eli Manning isn't going to make the Hall of Fame again. All right, well, guess what? Drew Brees is not Bill Belichick. Drew Brees is not Robert Kraft. Drew Brees, damn sure, it's not Eli Manning. Drew Brees is Andrew Christopher Brees. And this Thursday night, I can guarantee you guys that we will be celebrating Drew Brees making the Hall of Fame. I might go live, maybe to celebrate. Maybe I might cry. I don't know. I'll have some type of video to celebrate our GOAT, the greatest of all time, making the Hall of Fame. But I am very much looking forward to this Thursday when it is official that Drew Brees is going to make the Hall of Fame. And there is one thing that I will address, and I say everybody's very excited about that, as you guys should be. Hopefully I can go to the game. Oh, not the game. Well, yeah, actually, the Saints are going to be playing in the Hall of Fame preseason game, but I also want to see the ceremony. It's just that Dan Paris game now. Now I'm like, sheesh, man. You know, do I have enough money on my wife's credit card to do a Paris trip and a Canton, Ohio trip in a span of 3 months? That's a lot to ask for my wife's credit card, but I'm going to try. I want to give you guys some great content. You know, I'm sure you guys will love a firsthand point of view of Canton, Ohio, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame and Drew Brees' induction speech, and you guys would love to see a firsthand point of view of the Saints making history as Paris has adopted team in the first NFL game ever in Paris, France. But there was one thing I want to address, because after this, when I deal with any bullshit, we are going to celebrate. This is a week, and Thursday is going to be a day to celebrate Drew Brees getting his well-deserved flowers. But we again know what happened last week about Bill Belichick, right? And this, this major thing, Bill Belichick. How could Bill Belichick not make the Hall of Fame? And so I was watching the great Rich Eisen, who I absolutely love, his show today. And he had NFL Hall of Famer, who I am also a fan of, Troy Aikman. But I was not a fan of when he said this today on the Rich Eisen show.
It's a huge black eye for them, and I don't know what it's going to look like in August at the ceremony. And unfortunately, it will reflect, not poorly, but it will reflect on this current class, and that'll be the cloud that hangs over this current class of 26 as they go in, and what is and should be really a lifetime of memories for your career. And such a great achievement.
With all due respect to the great Troy Aikman, but a black cloud to who? The hell are you talking about? There's going to be a black cloud over the 2026 Hall of Fame class. I knew when Bill Belichick wasn't named as our first ballot Hall of Fame that this was going to happen, right? Like, oh my God. How dare they, right? And it's very valid. Like, the Hall of Fame needs to get their shit together, because there's absolutely no way that Bill Belichick should not have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. But what we're not going to do, and what we as Saints fans, and damn sure me with the smart-ass platform I have, but hopefully with you Saints fans as well, what we are not going to let them do is try to make the 2026 Hall of Fame class seem like it has a black cloud or asterisk next to it. Fuck that. Please, Saints fans, do not let the media, do not let these analysts, do not let these non-Saints fans try to tarnish the 2026 draft class because Bill Belichick didn't make the goddamn Super Bowl. Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all remember 2019? Do y'all remember getting screwed in the NFC Championship game by the Los Angeles Rams? Do y'all think that Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, or the New England Patriots fans won that goddamn Super Bowl when they beat the Rams, when they should have been playing the New Orleans Saints? Did Bill Belichick go on that goddamn platform after the game and say, oh, man, this is a great Super Bowl and Barry Trophy we got for our 6 or 7, whatever Super Bowl that was. But, man, this is a black cloud over the Super Bowl because the New Orleans Saints should be playing in that game. Hell no. They wasn't worried about the New Orleans Saints. Do y'all think the New Orleans Saints fans are going to be worried about some goddamn Bill Belichick when Drew Brees is named the Hall of Famer on Thursday? Get the hell out of here with that, Troy Aikman. Get the hell out of there with any national media pundit that has the audacity to say, oh, man, it's going to be a black cloud over Drew Brees or Larry Fitzgerald or whoever's named the Hall of Famer on Thursday. Whatever the Hall of Fame has going on with Bill Belichick, that's their business. Internally, the voting process, whatever, that's their goddamn business. But I'm not going to let any Hall of Famer do it. I'm just a smart-ass NFL fan. I understand that my voice is not that loud, but you know what? It's loud enough that I can make some type of rumblings. I'm going to rattle some goddamn cages. I'm not letting anybody say, oh, it's a black cloud over the 2026 Hall of Fame class, or try to tarnish Drew Brees' celebration this Thursday and this August and say, oh, man, on August, oh, but this should be what Bill Belichick should be doing the speech. Oh, fuck that. Hell with that. out their goddamn mind, thinking that Saints fans are going to be talking about some goddamn black cloud. Oh, man, you know, we're happy for Drew Brees, but it's just real sad that Bill Belichick didn't get her first. Man, I don't give a damn about that. I feel bad for the guy. Absolutely. He should be absolutely a first ballot Hall of Famer. But what y'all not going to do is try to gaslight me into thinking that Drew Brees should not be celebrated because Bill Belichick didn't get a goddamn first ballot Hall of Fame nod. I remember any Patriots fans saying, oh, man, we feel bad for you Saints fans while we celebrate our Super Bowl win in 2019. It's a black cloud over the Super Bowl because y'all should have been playing with that. So you're going to be worried about the goddamn Patriots and their franchise and their fans? Mind you, I'm going for the Patriots this Sunday. But I'm just using that as an example because it's very fitting. It's very fitting that Belichick was actually probably very beneficiary of us getting screwed because can't nobody tell me that since when I won that goddamn Super Bowl in 2019, with all due respect to Belichick and Brady, can't nobody tell me that we go to that Super Bowl, we would have not won that Super Bowl in Atlanta. So please miss me with that bullshit about something. It's a black cloud over the 2026 class because Bill Belichick got screwed. That's your problem, New England. That's your problem, Hall of Fame and Bill Belichick. Please don't tell Saints fans about some goddamn black cloud over Drew Brees' induction on Thursday. Fuck out of here with all that bullshit, man. I understand I'm getting mad because I know the national media are going to start that bullshit narrative. Poor New England, poor big market Boston, Massachusetts. They get it so damn hard. Hell out of here with that. Y'all, Saints fans, do me one favor. If you do take anything from this goddamn show, do not let them gaslight you. Do not let them set up this narrative that Drew Brees' induction on Thursday is going to be tarnished because poor Bill Belichick. Please use your voice, not just me. Don't just rely on Jono Bones on his platforms. I already started tweeting and all that. Don't just rely on me to spread the fucking news like I'm Frank Sinatra in New York. No, call that bullshit out when y'all see it and say, Bill Belichick, we feel sorry for you, but it ain't got nothing to do over here in New Orleans. We are celebrating Drew Brees, and ain't no type of goddamn tarnation is going on when it comes to your Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Please, Saints fans, if y'all take anything away from this goddamn show, do that because they are definitely going to start that narrative about, oh, man, it's so a black cloud over the 2026 Hall of Fame class. Hell with that, man. Like Sandra said, you're damn right. It's a black and gold cloud. I'm still in that line, Sandra. That's a hell of a line. It's a black and gold cloud. Troy Aikman, that's exactly what it is. It's a black cloud, all right? It's a black cloud with some gold skies. Ain't no damn, oh, boy. Poor Bill Belichick. So now Drew Brees' induction is tarnished. Man, the hell out of here with all that. Ain't hear none of them motherfuckers talking about something that was tarnished when they won in 2019 while we were on a goddamn couch because we got screwed by the Rams and the referees. But now it's a dark cloud over Drew Brees' induction on Thursday. Stop it with all that. Stop it with all that. I just have to get that out. All due respect to Troy Aikman. I have no problem with the guy. I understand that he's just probably standing up for a guy who he has a lot of respect for, probably a friend of his. I understand that absolutely. But y'all are not going to downplay Drew Brees' induction this Thursday. Y'all are not going to try to take away his moment in August because Bill Belichick got screwed. And it don't work like that. We learned that as Saints fans the hard way, unfortunately. We had our boycott for the 2019 Super Bowl. We made our point, which is we did a damn great job as a city and as a state. But you know what? The world moved on. The world moved on, and whenever they talk about Brady and Belichick's 7 Super Bowl reigns, they don't say, oh, by the way, asterisk by the 2019 one because the Saints got screwed. So you damn sure ain't going to be like, oh, asking about Drew Brees' Hall of Fame induction in 2026 because Bill Belichick got screwed. Miss me with all that. Miss me with all that. Saints fans, please do not let them get away with that bullshit. If y'all run into any clip like that, call their asses out. Call their asses out. Please. I already called it out. If y'all look at just search Troy Aikman, Rich Eisen show on YouTube right now. I put a comment. I'm getting some people actually pushing back on me. Like, oh, it is a black cloud. The non-Saints fans. It is a black cloud because I'm going back at them. I don't give a damn about no damn black cloud. Whatever going on in New England, that's on y'all. Whatever's going on with Bill Belichick and the Hall of Fame voters, that's on them. Y'all ain't going to try to tarnish what the Saints fans are doing. Y'all ain't going to try to take away from what we get to celebrate on Thursday with Drew Brees. Y'all could go in the comments and stand up for your boy if y'all want as well. But any clip y'all see, any national media member, not just Troy Aikman, he ain't going to be the only one. I promise you, there's going to be a lot of people, especially New England media. It's a black cloud. Who cares about Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald making the Hall of Fame? Bill Belichick didn't make it. None of this counts. Call that shit out. Please, y'all, call that shit out. Easy E, I appreciate the super chat. You're damn right I'm going to talk my shit. With one thing I'm going to do with this crazy platform that I have, that's New Orleans and Louisiana heavy, so sometimes I'm just talking in the echo chamber. I totally understand that. But one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ring the damn bell for Drew Brees. I'm going to ring the damn bell for the city of New Orleans and Louisiana when it comes to things that we get to celebrate that people try to take away from us. Hell with that. Bump that. Bump that. That's just how I feel when this shit more than the game. Let me get to y'all comments and then we'll close up the show for tonight. Mario says Patriots haters need to go get a life. Well, I'm not a Patriots hater, Mario. I'm actually cheering for y'all this Sunday. So if you got that comment from my Rangers now, it's nothing against y'all as far as that. It's more about the fact that I don't want Drew Brees to get his adoration taken away from him because of what's going on with Bill Belichick. I wish you guys well. This Sunday, I'm actually openly rooting for y'all. Nola Chop says F Aikman in the media. I'm not saying F Aikman in the media. I'm just saying call that shit out. I like Troy Aikman. And again, I understand why he's sticking up for a friend. He's sticking up for somebody who thinks deserves that first ballot. I get all that. But what you're not going to do, Troy Aikman, and hopefully Arizona Cardinals fans feel the same way because they should be just as excited that I imagine Larry Fitzgerald is going to be first ballot Hall of Fame this Thursday too. You ain't gonna gaslight me to take away from what Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald did in their careers because Bill Belichick got screwed. It don't work like that. Life don't work like that. Sandra says, not a chance. I can't wait. Super excited to celebrate Drew's career and his eternal connection to the city. Slim South says, give them a black cloud for Spygate. I don't look again. I agree that Bill Belichick got screwed. I think the Hall of Fame voting process is horrible. They got to fix it. It shouldn't be this complicated. Like, is Bill Belichick a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? Yes, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Is Robert Kraft a Hall of Famer? I mean, the guy's got 3 head coaches and 3 quarterbacks to Super Bowls. Absolutely, he should be a Hall of Famer. Yes, it's a super complex voting process that they do. I'm not trying to discredit, the people arguing for those guys. I'm just saying what y'all not going to do, media, Troy Aikman, whoever else has his opinion, is try to discredit Drew Brees' induction because you guys are mad about Bill Belichick. Unless you guys can show me receipts, Troy Aikman, that you were caught in that Super Bowl in 2019 saying the Saints got screwed. No matter what happens, y'all just remember the Saints got screwed. There's a black cloud over this Super Bowl. They missed me with all this other bullshit. That's all I got to say about that. Y'all got me fired up ending this show tonight. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully we have a great Super Bowl this Sunday. And Thursday, y'all, it's when it becomes official that our GOAT is going to make the Hall of Fame. And like Sandra said, yeah, there's going to be a black cloud over it. It's going to be a black and gold cloud over it. You got that right. What up? Yeah, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that name. But all the way from Havana, Cuba, we appreciate you, my guy. Welcome to the This Shit More Than a Game certified family. And welcome Drew Brees this Thursday to the Hall of Fame. I'm sure I'll do some type of video to celebrate it, but I cannot wait to celebrate our GOAT, the guy who brought us a Super Bowl, the guy who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Hell, I think he is the greatest quarterback of all time, and I'm saying that with my goddamn chest. Y'all want to know why? Because this shit more than the game. I'll see y'all next week on the season finale at the Jono Barnes Show. I appreciate you guys. Let's celebrate our goddamn Hall of Famer this Thursday. Y'all know why. Y'all damn sure better let the media know why. Because this shit is more than the game.
Juno.